A couple things, right? My struggle beard is horrendous, and since we don't have to go into work, you guys are gonna have to suffer through it with me. So, Paul Pierce beard, right at you.
It's 6 digits.
What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Six Figures to Bigger Figures. This is my journey of how I inherited, lost, regained, and will surpass a six-figure net worth. And I'm taking you guys with me on this journey, and I'm dropping jewels along the way, free of charge, free financial advice. Now, a couple things, right? My struggle beard is horrendous, and since we don't have to go into work, you guys are gonna have to suffer through it with me. So, Paul Pierce beard, right at you. Also, the other thing is, you guys can't really see it, but my house is a mess right now because we're moving. Very grateful for the move. We're moving to a home that I would think at this juncture in my life that I wouldn't be in. So I'm very grateful. And to be honest, the home that we're in currently is a home I never thought I would be in this juncture in my life either. So I'll talk about that a little bit later as things kind of get more settled. But very grateful, and some big things in store. And I'll let you guys know, right? My whole thing is about being transparent, but in interest of, there's some things floating around right now. You know, the house still has to be for sale. So once everything gets closed and everything is all settled, then I get let you guys in and some more. All right, but for right now, we'll move on. All right. Okay. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the second step that I took on my journey towards financial responsibility. I touched on it last time in my last episode, and that was setting a plan, a financial plan, aka a budget. Okay, so it's really important to set a budget. So first we spoke about mindset, which is the first step, very important. That changes everything, right? It switches your paradigm. It gets you in a different place, refocuses you. But now you need to write things down, okay? Now, I'm an Excel nerd. I'm an accountant. I use Excel. It's fantastic, okay? In fact, I do notes in Excel. I use Excel when you didn't even have to use Excel. That's how much I love Excel. And everybody may not be that way, but that's what I use. But what I really want you to do, regardless of the medium you use, you need to record it, okay? Get a budget, get a plan, or your financial plan, which is your budget, and write it down. And let me tell you how important a budget is. There is no corporation on the S&P 500 or the Fortune 500 that doesn't have a budgeting and planning group. Okay, they have entire departments that are focused on just budgeting, planning, and doing analysis of those plans. They call them financial planning and analysis. I actually have done that role a couple of times, right? It's uber important. And I can bet there's no department, there's no corporation you can find right now that doesn't even have one, right? I think I've said that enough times. Anyway, I like to reference corporations when I'm giving this advice because I'm trying to show you, what I'm trying to relay is, if a corporation is doing it and they're super successful and they're making billions of dollars, then we probably should be doing it to a certain extent, right? They're doing it because it works. So if you're looking at yourself as a businessman, so corny. Anyway, you should do the same, okay? So I first started with my budget after I get my mind right and I got called out of being so financially out of whack, and I put my budget together. Okay, so I've been using a budget for at least 13 years right now, 13 years and counting. And it changes, right? As your life changes, it's gonna change with you. But I've been using it for over 13 years to this day. Yeah? So it's super important, but it's important that it changes with you. things change, life changes, right? Since I started my budget, I've gotten married, I've acquired a couple homes, have a dog, I have a daughter, beautiful daughter, and I also have a son on the way. Yeah. So things change, and your budget should just change with it, right? Don't abandon it. Change it, alter it. It happens, right? And what's so super important, you can call this step 2A if you like, it's useless if it's not followed. In fact, I have my Excel budget right on the main page. Useless if not followed. Doesn't make sense to set a plan if you're not going to follow it, right? So you got to be disciplined. I'm not going to add that as another step, but it's a part of it, right? This all takes discipline. It's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in 1 week, not 1 month. You know, it's a lifestyle change. It's a mindset change. It's going to take some time. But as someone told me years ago, you would rather get started now and 5 years from now say, wow, I'm only 1 year away from my goal, than to play around for 5 years and look back and say, man, had I started 5 years ago, I would have been that much closer, right? So not only what I'm going to do, right? Because I want to add value to what I'm giving you. I'm going to give you some pointers as you build your own budget, okay? Things that you should be spending your money on as far as a percentage of your income. And that'll help you. I wanted you to take that as you build your own budget as a, prerequisites or outline for your budget, okay? So let's do it. Okay. First thing, 10%. This might be controversial, or it may not be. The first 10% you should put towards charitable contribution. Personally, I tithe. For those persons that don't believe in tithing, or you're not of the faith or what have you, that's fine, right? This is not about that. But outside of that, right, that's my belief, but outside of that, you should just give back, right? The universe is the way the universe works, you get blessed for giving, all right? So even regardless of your faith, not getting into that, you should give. So if that's gonna be to the United Way, Red Cross, choose any type of organization of your choosing, and make sure it's a 501(c)(3). That's important. The 501(c)(3) allows you to deduct it on your tax return. Ta-da! Right? Free tax advice, yay! Okay, so that's the first step. The second step, you take 10% and save it. So 10% towards charitable contribution, 10% for yourself, okay? Your savings. Build your savings account, your emergency savings. You should have 3 to 6 months of savings, all right? If you're not there, get on it today. Don't waste any time. 30%, this is not in any particular order, by the way, I'm just, so anyway, 30% towards your mortgage. So don't exceed 30%. And in fact, if you don't own the home and it's not a mortgage and you're just renting, I would say push that lower than 30%. At least with a mortgage, you're in the process of owning that asset, right? That home, okay? I'm big on what I call good debt. Some of my counterparts are not, but I am, because I've seen corporations use debt. There's no corporation out there that does not use debt, or as they call leverage. I'll talk about that in a future episode. So I'm big on good debt, not a fan of bad debt, what I consider consumer debt, right? But it's all about, the game is about acquiring assets. I'm going on a tangent, so I'll stop. All right, everyone needs a car, and I get it, right? Not everyone can buy a car outright. It's balling out of control. I know I'm not. So 15% towards your car. All right, and that includes gas, insurance, the whole nine. All right, if you're looking at your expenses and you're above 15%, find a way to push that down. And you may be stuck in a loan right now that you can't get out of. So maybe that's fuel. Maybe that's calling your insurance company. Maybe you could be selling the car. I don't know, right? But 15%, don't exceed 15% towards your car expenses. 5% for food. Gotta eat. 5% for entertainment. That includes cable, frivolous shopping, internet, Netflix, all that, right? Don't at me. You should be happy I even gave you that, all right? I don't want to hear it. Now, 13%, this is a weirder one, but could be important depending on where you are in life. 13% for family expenses. And that's your daycare, school expenses perhaps, other miscellaneous items that the family uses on a day-to-day basis, right? I don't have to get into that. Toilet paper, bro. And then 12% for debt reduction. Okay? And you want to start paying off the debt with the highest interest rate. Okay? I'm going to get into in another episode how I reduce my credit card debt in my debt episode. But for now, you want to at least apply 12% towards debt reduction. And if you don't have family expenses, guess what? That means 13 and 12, 25% you should be putting towards debt reduction. So when I didn't have a family, that's what I was doing. 25% of my check went aggressively towards paying off that credit card debt until it was gone. Now, currently in my current situation, I don't have a car note, right? Not showing off, I'm just saying, right? Consumer debt, that's not gang. So, however, my daughter is, I'm an accountant, not an English teacher. Don't at me, bro. My daughter is in private school, right? So what I'm not spending on a car note, I'm actually spending, in private school for my daughter. So you pick and choose, right? Now, as you take this as just a guideline, right? I know everyone's situation is different, but this is a pretty good guideline in my opinion. This is how I started with everything. And my budget used to be down to the dollar, like literally down to the dollar, where I didn't have anything unaccounted for except for $1. Now it's changed. Now I have a little bit more fluff in my budget now, but it's gonna be different for everyone, okay? So I'm gonna say it one more time. 10% charitable contributions, 10% savings to yourself, 30% mortgage, 15% a car, 5% towards food, 5% towards entertainment, 13% towards family expenses, if applicable, 12% towards debt reduction. And if you don't have family expenses or the need for debt reduction, good for you. Then you're gonna take that money now and invest it. All right? I'm gonna stop right there. So please like, subscribe, share at 6FTBF. Don't forget. And lastly, or surely not least, I'm not trying to preach to you, just trying to show you a vibe. Peace.
It's 6 digits.